Hello everyone, today we will continue to talk about some knowledge of system engineering. Today I will still use a case of power system to introduce more knowledge about system engineering. And the case I will use today, just like what I use in midterm, is applying blockchain technology to electrical power system. And the video in the midterm, I have introduced some basic knowledge of system engineering. First, I have introduced what is system engineering. So that is the function of system engineering is to guide the engineering of complex systems. And I have pointed the most important part of system engineering is that it must be a complex system. Then I introduced some basic knowledge about a system and its functions. And I have also give some examples of complex system, such as the power system, just like what we will introduce today. And then I introduced the waypoint from systems engineering. For example, we need to understand users' needs and focusing on their satisfaction. So this part is the most important part in all the two videos. This part I will from the perspective of system engineering and use the system engineering life cycle stages to introduce the electrical power system. So we must to know that there are three stages. The first one is the concept development stage, and I have make a more detailed introduction for this part, and I have used the system applying blockchain technology into electrical power system to explain some knowledge in the concept development stage. So in this video, I will pay more attention to the last stages, the engineering development stage and the post-development stage. First, and then we will need to know that the function of engineering development stage is covers the translation of the system concept into a valid physical system design and meeting the optional and cost and schedule requirements. The function of the post-development stage is it includes the production, deployment, option, and support of the system throughout its useful life. So these are three parts of the concept development stage, and I have introduced it in the last video. And the first one is we need to know the need of the system. And for our example is that we need to know the needs of the electrical power system of now. Then this is a video about blockchain technology, and we have introduced in the last video. And this is a concept exploration phase. This is a concept definition phase. And for the engineering development stage, we will this is one important stage in today's video, and it contains three three components. The first one is advanced development. The second one is engineering design. The third one is integration and evaluation. And then I will use the knowledge of this stage and apply all the knowledge to our case. The case is applying blockchain technology into electrical power system, and I will make a detailed explanation for that. The first one is the advanced development. For this part, there are two tasks we need to know. The first one is we need to make a solution of the risks. So I will use the example to explain this part, and that is for the applying blockchain technology into the electrical power system. First, we need to know the risk of the electrical power system now. The first one is engine loss. For the most electrical power system, it has a long distance transmission. So it means that on the way we transmit the engine, it must have an engine loss because it is a long distance. If the distance is shorter, then we can save some engine. And blockchain technology will use a distributed management. That means we can short the distance of transmission. So that can solve this problem. The second problem is flexible, inflexible, because for now for most electrical power system, then for example, if the system in part A has the problem, that will make an that will inflect the system in part B. So that is inflexible. We need to get a result that if the A has some problem, then B can continue to work. So the blockchain technology can also solve it because it is distributed management. The last one is new source. And we all know there are many renewable sources now for power system, such as the water, the wind. So we need to find a method to apply or to use this all the renewable source. And then for the test and validate, we need to know why we know blockchain technology. It's because the successful application in the field of Bitcoin. And we know Bitcoin is a popular money from the world. And many companies such as PayPal, Amazon can use it. We can use it to buy something online. So the successful of Bitcoin is also the successful application of the blockchain technology. So this technology is totally right, and we can use it in the electrical power system. The next part is engineering design. So for this part, we need to get two results. The first one, we need to get the requirement of testing. The second one is that we need to get a model of engineering according to this part. So that is the two results. So we need to analyze some factors and some consideration from the viewpoint of engineering design and to get this result. So for the engineering design part, I think I will introduce the example from three factors. The three factors are the reliability, maintainability, and productability, and that are the three factors we need to consider in the engineering design, and I think these three parts are very important. The first one, it means that reliability. It means that we need to know the probability of a system success. So for the system of applying blockchain to electric power system, we need first analyze that. Before that, we need to know what is the objective of this problem, and what we have analyzed before, and I have introduced some concept, something about the concept and concept development in the video of midterm. And I know there are two problems we need to solve for the traditional electrical power system. The first one is how to improve the flexibility of the system, and at the same time we need to solve the disadvantages brought by centralized management. The second one is we need to know how to use the renewable engine more efficiently. So, if we apply blockchain to electrical power system, for the first problem, it's easy for us to make sure that the distributed management is a quick and effective solution to solve the traditional power system, because for first distributed power supply can meet the need of special area. For example, there are some users and they need to meet, they have the high needs of high requirements of the power supply, such as the hospital and the banks, but for the centralized management, it was used for traditional electrical power system. So it means that sometimes we may not consider the high requirements of some place, so that will make the probability of system success will be lower. So if we use distributed management, that will be better. So by applying blockchain technology into the electrical power system, we don't need the transmission requirement for long distance. And we know we have introduced before. The engine loss is also a problem of the. It's also a risk of the traditional electrical power system. So, then if we use distributed management, that means we can shorten the transmission distance. So that means that we can save some engine. And for another problem, we meet that due to the high efficiency of distributed engine, small space and low maintenance, so we can have the small space occupation and low maintenance cost. It is possible for distributed power engine to enter every household. So, at the same time, it can accelerate the development of smart grid. For example, we know that some cars use electrical power, so that means I think this is the success of distributed management of the electrical power system. Then we will talk about the maintainability. So this means that the degree of difficulty if we to maintain the system. We know it is obvious for know that the maintainability of applying blockchain into electrical power system is easy, because blockchain technology can. The core of blockchain technology is distributed management. So that means, for example, if there is some problem in the place A, for the traditional electrical power system, that it may make an impaction to the place B. But for the distributed management, we will never meet this problem. And the last one is how to make the product easier. So we know that after applying the blockchain technology into electrical power system, it can help us save some engine, some money, and everything better than the traditional electrical power system. So then it means that we can make this product easier if we use this technology. So next I will introduce the last phase of engineering development. It means integration and evaluation. So before that, I need to let you know that if the system is designed to be perfect, this is unnecessary. And what we have analyzed before, and we can also use the example of the Brooklyn microgrid. It's easy for us to know the success of applying blockchain technology into electrical power system. So, and the result, we don't need to pay more attention to this phase. And then I will introduce the post-development stage. For this stage, it 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 are different from other two stages because it only have two phases. The first one is production. The second one is operating support. The post-development is a special phase in analyzing the whole system. This phase is started after we know the system can operate successfully, and we finish the process of testing and evaluation. So this development is used for production and for the further operation. Even this stage is proceed after the success of system. It also needs to the support from the whole system. And at the same time, this stage shows the relationship between the advanced in technology and the system upgrade. Production, option, and support are the two components. So, for the So for this part, for the production, we need first to know the objective of this part. The objective of this part is making a transmission from the development to the production. And we all know I have introduced in the first two stages that we only consider the system from the viewpoint of concept and engineering. For this part, we need to make a transmission. So there are three factors we must need to consider. The first one is advanced technology, and the second one is competition. The third one is operability. So the first one is advancing technology. The development of a complex system required advanced development. So, and we all know why we know blockchain technology, because the success of Bitcoin, and now there are many people paying attention to this technology. That means it is advanced technology. And it can meet the step of the times. So that is not the problem we need to consider. The second one is competition. So why we need, and we all know that this is a basic factor to evaluate the quality of a product. So it is very important. And I think engineering can start from the following point to solve this problem. The first one is the money, because we can use it to deal with some unaccepted problem and make up the insufficient effort for the system applying blockchain technology into electrical power system. Blockchain technology will be more widely used if we have enough money. For example, intelligent distributed grid has a larger number of power system components. If we have enough money, this technology could be extended to be more area because of the maturity of blockchain technology. We can also apply blockchain technology into different layers of electrical power system. So that is very good if we solve all this problem. And then considering applying blockchain technology into the electrical power system, we need to determine whether the operation of this process. We can take the network as an example. First, we need to analyze the node of blockchain, which means that analyze the service of all the electrical power system, which is based on the distributed management. The second one is that each server is responsible for the analysis of the part of the electrical power system. The last, we need to make sure that all the servers of the electrical power are networked with a security network communication. So this is I only use an example for the network layer because we'd like to, if we want to make a success product, we need to apply all this one into from layer to layer. And then the next one for the production is that we need to make a plan. So planning is very important, and the plan also contains the follow modeling. The first one, we need to provide a model for us. To be honest, it must be a successful model we need to use for this product. The second one is we need to choose the suitable manufacturers. The third one, we need to make sure the effective of this product. For the first one, I think we can use the example of the Brooklyn microgrid and a model we used. And I know that this example is a successful example. The object of this example is to implement a self-sufficient electrical power network, which can make sure the demand of electrical of thousands of people in Brooklyn. In the microgrid, it has its own source of electrical power, which is independent of the main grid. So that means that it's also an application of distributed management. And this application shows the benefit of distributed management. First, the power station can use various renewable engines based on their actual situation. Secondly, the distributed management can improve the flexibility of the whole system. For example, when the microgrid is destroyed due to some natural disaster or some other factors, the engineering can for the engineering they only need to fix the problem in this part, and also it will never affect the electricity used in other areas. So according to that, we can also know that it's very successful. We can know the efficiency of this process is much higher than the traditional electrical power system. So the last one, so we finished the production phase. So and the last phase we need to analyze is that its option and support. For this part, this is the last phase of the whole system engineering. But we need to consider many things for this part. The first one, we need to the initial installation of the whole system. And I think for the electrical power system, we need to consider the security. If we can make sure the security for the first installation, I think that is good. The second one, we need to make the test for the component replacements during some period, because then sometimes we need to meet the requirements, and sometimes for the system we need to repair it because sometimes it has a problem we can't find if we don't do the test, so that is important. And the third one is the repair. We need to have the enough technology to repair it if it has some problem, such as it was distributed by some disaster. So that is the point. The last one I think is really important is we need to make the upgrades for the electrical power system. And we know before for now, for the traditional electrical power system, we'd like to use the centralized management, and when the serving area is small, that management is very good. It can control all the engine use in the all area, but with the development of time, that is not suitable, because many more and more places need to use electrical power. What's more, there are some new resources, and so how to use the resources to be efficient, it's a problem we need to meet. And how to improve the flexibility of the electrical power system is also what we need to consider. So I think the upgrade of a large complex system is very important. So even in this system, if in the future we meet some problem we can solve by the distributed management, we need also to upgrade it and make a new one and apply a new technology into it. And this part is the challenge of the electrical power system. And I have introduced that in the video of the midterm. It means so I will never pay more attention to there. And for this part, I'd like to make a summary of the applying blockchain technology into the electrical power system. I think the most important thing that we know the problem of traditional electrical power system. That is the first one is how we need to improve the flexibility of the system. The second one, we need to solve the use of renewable source such as wind and water. So, why I think blockchain technology is suitable after analyzing, because I thought all the problem can be solved if we use the distributed management. So we have got a result that the distributed management is better, and we have analyzed it from the concept development, engineering development, and the post development. So it can not only solve the problem but also can improve the efficiency of the whole system. And from what I have learned from the class is that I know we need to, I think this is the most important. We need to analyze a complex system from the perspective of system engineering, and we need to analyze a complex system according to the system engineering cycle. such as the concept development, engineering development, and post development. So that are all important for us. So, and last, I I hope everyone can know the system engineering cycle, and it contains three stages. The first one is concept development. It contains need analyze, concept exploration, and concept definition. And according to that, we know the requirement and what we need for the system. The next one is engineering development. It contains the advanced development, engineering design, and integration and evaluation. After that, we know the functions of the system. The last one is the post development. It contains production, operation, and support. According to this, we know how to make a transmission from the development to the production and how to make a production. So that is what I have learned from this class. Thank you.